kids and parents. This weekend in Athey Kids, we are reading in 1 Samuel chapter 17. Saul, his army, and the Philistine army were mesmerized by Goliath's gigantic size and impressive armor. But David wasn't. He saw the whole battle in terms of God's glory. Saul and the Israelites gathered and camped in the valley of Elah. They took their positions to fight the Philistines. The Philistines controlled one hill, while the Israelites controlled another, and the valley was between them. The Philistines had a champion fighter named Goliath. He was over 9 feet tall. He came out of the Philistine camp. He had a bronze helmet on his head and he wore a coat of scale armor. Goliath stood and shouted to the Israelite soldiers, saying, "I am a Philistine and you are Saul's servants. Choose a man and send him to fight me. If he can fight and kill me, we will become your servants. But if I defeat and kill him, you will become our servants." Then he said, "Today I stand and dare the army of Israel. Send one of your men to fight me." When Saul and the Israelites heard the Philistines' words, they were very afraid. Now Jesse said to his son David, "Take this half bushel of cooked grain, and take 10 loaves of bread. Take them to your brothers in the camp." Early in the morning, David took the food and left as Jesse had told him. When David arrived at the camp, the army was leaving. David left the food with the men who kept the supplies. Then he ran to the battle line and talked to his brothers. While he was talking with them, Goliath came out. He shouted things against Israel as usual, and David heard it. When the Israelites saw Goliath, they were very much afraid and ran away. David asked the men who stood near him, "Why does he think he can speak against the armies of the living God?" David said to Saul, "Don't let anyone be discouraged. I, your servant, will go and fight this Philistine." Saul answered, "You can't go out against this Philistine and fight him. You're only a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since he was a young man." But David said to Saul, "I, your servant, have been keeping my father's sheep. When a lion or bear came and took a sheep from the flock, I would chase it. I would attack it and save the sheep from its mouth. I, your servant, have killed both a lion and a bear. Goliath the Philistine, who is not circumcised, will be like the lion or bear I killed. He will die because he has stood against the armies of the living God." Saul said to David, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." David chose 5 smooth stones from a stream, and he put them in his pouch and held his sling in his hand. Then he went to meet Goliath, and Goliath looked at David. He saw that David was only a boy, tanned and handsome. He looked down at David with disgust, and he said, "Do you think I am a dog that you come at me with a stick?" He used his God's names to curse David, but David said to him, "You come to me using a sword and spears, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. He's the God of the armies of Israel. You have spoken out against him. Today the Lord will give you to me. I'll kill you and I'll cut off your head. Then all the world will know there is a God in Israel." As Goliath came near to attack him, David ran quickly to meet him. He took a stone from his pouch. He put it into his sling and slung it. The stone hit the Philistine on his forehead and sank into it. Goliath fell face down on the ground. So David defeated the Philistine with only a sling and a stone. David's heart was so devoted to God that he could not stand idly by while Goliath insulted the living God. So David risked his life for the sake of God's glory, and God gave David success because God fights for his glory and gives strength to those whose hearts are his. Our prayer is that you make your heart devoted to Jesus Christ today. God bless you.